Hey everyone, this is Tony from the TJ is Online YouTube channel. Thought I'll make one of my first videos of 2025 talking about the T206 cards in my collection, specifically Ty Cobb and two other Ty Cobb pieces. I saw the T206 book here. I have a copy of it. Bought this last year. Don the Show recently posted about it, and he really thought it's a great book, and it's a wealth of information, a lot of pictures of all the cards. So I thought I would start this video showing this book. If you can pick it up online, I would highly recommend it. Also, growing up in the 1980s, I didn't have any tobacco cards, but I did have these magazines. This is the first issue of baseball cards. It was a monthly magazine. Started out, going by the season. Then it became more of a monthly issue. As you can tell, this one's from 1981. And look what T206 card is on the cover. Another magazine I did not own as a kid, but we see the Ty Cobb Bat on Shoulder T206. This is from the second issue of Autumn 81. So we started with the spring of 81. Now we're up to autumn 81. This one I did actually have as a child and 10-year-old. So this is the annual edition for 1986. And look who's on the top left corner, the King of Cards. I just thought that was pretty interesting to go over the video. And one last thing before we get into the reason why we're all here is I actually did have this calendar in 1989, and I had this calendar in 1990. And if you scroll to the first month, Walter Johnson, T206, along with the Cracker Jack, Allen and Ginter, Cap Anson, and the T205 Speaker. I just thought that was pretty interesting because in the 1980s, especially when I started collecting cards in 84, 85, and then going into 90 until I stopped in 92, I remember everything was about modern, and then you got into 50s and 60s players. But the tobacco cards were always extremely interesting to me. I could never afford them, and I got caught by the bug of buying modern at that time. Here we have January 1989 calendar, and you see Honus Wagner here and the green portrait Cobb. With that, let's get started. Oh, and can't go talking about tobacco cards without showing the first Sport Americana baseball card price glide by Dr. Jim Beckett. And I bookmarked this here. And the T206, commonly referred to as the white border, which it's still called. We talk about the backs here. And it says the Ty Cobb brand back is scarce. And it talks about the other backs. So you can freeze here the video and you'll see the summary. Also some prices. This might be a little bit tough to see, but the Cobbs. So the red in mint condition was $20. The green portrait, $20 in mint. Actually, these are, mint, but. And then the mint condition bat off shoulder, $20. So the three first Cobbs are $20. And the fourth, the bat on shoulder, $20. So red, green, they all had the same price. Bat on, bat off. And just for the fun of it, one of the other most valuable cards in this set, and at least in this, when this issue first came out, was the Demet. That's a polar bear, if I'm correct. It's $120 in mint. And we have to talk about the Maggie era, $400 in mint condition. The Eddie Plank here, number 293 in this guide, $2,700. And we're going to end with the Wagner. So in here, the Wagner is $4,800 in mint and $2,000 in fair to good. Pretty cool. I just thought that would be good to show folks. And this came out in 1979. Let's talk about Ty Cobb and show some cards. So 5 minutes into the video, we have our first card. So this is my red back. Obtained this, saw it at the Philly show. It was in my hands 3 to 4 business days later. Thank you to the excellent collector who was able to upgrade his red Cobb, and this is in my collection now. So this is the sweet cat back, 350 subjects. Here we have my greenback. Picked this up in May. It was at the Dallas show. I wasn't at the Dallas show, but someone was, and he was nice enough to work out a deal with me, and it got shipped from Dallas, Houston area actually, to be precise, to my collection. So this is a 150 back, and you could tell with this case PSA did pretty good because it's not real clear. Here we have the bat off shoulder. This is an old millback. This was purchased at the Philly show. Matt hooked me up with this. This was in his collection. Here we have the old millback. Definitely not brown one. It's a black back. And my last T206 Cobb. This is the bat on shoulder. This was a recent pickup, 350 back. You can see the factory on this card and as the others. Sweet cat back, 350 subject. This is more of a fun card for me. Also picked up from Matt, who helped me with the old millback Cobb. This is an Allen and Ginter 2021 1 of 1 mini wood. Also, we have a 1953 Art View postcard. This was considered, it was put out by the Hall of Fame, and Art View won this contract for it. So this is a 53 to 55 Type 1 back. I mean Type 1 front, and you'll know because on the Type 2s, there's screws in the holes. And what's special about this one is Ty Cobb signed it nearly 13 months before he passed away in 1960. June 26th, 1960. I'm going to move this out of the way. Here we have a check that I purchased in January 2006. Hopefully you can see that autograph. It is dated January 25th, 1952 for $100, made out to cash. And you see on checks, unlike signing autograph and memorabilia, Ty signed it with his complete name. This I purchased in January 2006, and history, it was a gallery of history. I found out about them through eBay, and made the purchase on their website. And it was funny because I thought I knew I'd been to a Philly show before, but I couldn't remember when. But it turns out I went to the Philly show in March 11th, 2006, or whatever the Philly show was in that March, because I had it framed then, and you can see the frame here. This check with the custom framing. This is not an authentic Ty Cobb photo, but wish it was. But I was able to get that on eBay for a couple bucks. But here's the PSA cert, the letter of authenticity, and it's dated March 11, 2006. So I saw a PSA at the Philly show, and I don't remember how. I know I paid $150 to have this authenticated then. I forget if it was mailed to me or if it was graded at the show, but it came with other certificate of authenticity when I bought it, so I felt fairly confident. So these are my Ty Cobb cards. I'm going to go over a few of my other T206 cards, and this will go fairly quickly. This is my Knapp Rucker Piedmont 150 back. I just love how this looks. Pretty interesting career. He was a hard thrower, then hurt his thumb, and he became one of the first pitchers to have a knuckleball. Here's my Cy Young Sweet Cap 350 back. Gorgeous card. This was a 2024 pickup. Here's my Walter Johnson, one of the favorite cards in my collection, along with the Cy Young we just saw and the 4 Cobbs. I'd like to give a little shout out to Don, who really turned me on to this card. Always liked it, but I never knew how much it meant to me until I got one in my hands. We're gonna go for some Hal Chase cards now. So I have 3 of them. Here's the Blue Portrait, 350. Back, Sweet Cat. Here's the Polar Bear. And you can see the cert on here. And he's holding the Loving Trophy. That was actually given to him by his teammates in 1909 when Hal was able to overcome a bout with smallpox, if I'm correct. So, which makes me wonder, this had to come out in 1910 or so. I'm not a polar bear expert, but if the trophy was given in spring training of 1909, and the photograph was issued. Here we have the Hal Chase Charles Bray collection. I forget where I picked this up. Might have been eBay. I forget. It's a Sweet Cap 150 back. Speaking of backs, I forgot to show this one. What makes this one really fun for me, in addition to the beautiful portrait and the yellow background, is the back of it. So this is an overprint. Two more cards. Here we have one of my fun cards in the collection, Jake Beckley, underrated Hall of Famer, made in 1971, batting average of just over 300, I think 308 or 309. Pretty good defensive first baseman. He still holds the record for nearly 24,000 or so putouts. And I consider this a Halloween card, just because he looks like Count Dracula with how the collar is. You can see KC. And he almost had 3,000 hits. He's at 2,900 something. And you can see the back, just regular Piedmont with a cigarette, with a tobacco stain on the back, even though this wasn't with loose tobacco. Here is another Jake Beckley. This card is more red background than this has the orange. And this is pretty cool because if you turn it around, you'll see here Howard Paris of Lake George. That's in Nevada, and he was an antique dealer in the 50s and 60s from the research I did. Outside of this stamp, this card is definitely maybe the best condition T206 I have, maybe next to one of the Hal Chase cards. But that's my T206 collection. I'd like to thank everyone for their help, because a lot of these came from my hobby friends. You all mean a lot to me. All these cards are great in the collection, but knowing that I had assistants and people who care about each other, it's good to know that the vast majority of my T206 cards all came from friends. So thank you.